Alrighty, this is clearly Southwest with their co-defendant, the people. Looking to the left, I don't know anything, I'm not stalking. Fake sun is over, 9GTM 817, where I'm gone to another location. Robert J. Spitz is a gang stalking attorney. That unconstitutional, unlawful oxymoron is the evidence that you are unfit to practice law. The fake sun is over me. I'm subject to terrorism even outside of your law office. You will be losing your California bar license. It is a criminal act while I'm subject to it. And you are indeed engaging the POC, and this entity literally just flew. You need to understand the way in which they're reaching to even be over here. I'm on the opposite side. I just documented the population, but the parking lot area, the Ontario Village Shopping Center. This street where I'm on at 4 and 5 in the evening, and a psychopath looks the opposite direction, and that's supposed to make you think they're not gang stalking. That's why they're getting martial law. All right, this is the fake sun, and Southwest Airlines is flying over the Ontario Plaza Apartments, where the Ontario police are also gang stalking me as a matter of evidence. Doing so en route to the same Ontario Village Shopping Center that has been documented for a term of years regarding what will be a prosecution of a commercial means of stalking, surveillance, harassment, kidnapping, criminal summoning, all that. That's, again, that level of evidence is going to result in what is being shut down. All right, this entity, I want to be clear. Oh, you're talking about immigrants. You're talking about recipients of government assistance. They're losing all of it, and they're being deported. While the government flies over your apartment building, be prepared to be outside on the street. You're not getting any government assistance. While the entity is stalking me by planes and helicopters, by flying what is northwest over Ontario Plaza Shopping Center, that's evidence regarding obsession. And that entity is the one that's talking about while you're on the streets, as I'm on the street documenting you obsessing over me and stalking me. That same audible activity is going to be used to diagnose and assess regarding what is necessary. Involuntarily committing psychopaths who engage in acts of violence while they are delusional regarding criminal activity that they engage in against other people, including under company names such as Omnitrans. POC, this is the entity stalking as I'm moving about. So now the fake sun, this is Vesta in San Antonio, right? This is the entity that is maintaining along what is San Antonio as opposed to what is Euclid Avenue. Crossing path is stalking on the roads and the highways. They're engaging, you're losing your license, you're not gonna be driving, and that's not a suspension. They will not be on the roads and the highways. They're terrorists that are obsessively stalking, obsessively. Okay, and this is the entity that's engaging in that. That's the entity that chases me down because they are so maniacal and so obsessed and frustrated because I have already shown that you are not only, by virtue of what you're doing, you are suicidal. By virtue of what you're doing, you're psychopathic. That's exceedingly antisocial conduct, contrary to what the entity wants to be viewed as, because they're in the military, they're in law enforcement, they are amongst the community engaging in this criminal activity. But none of those illusions are persuasive. They are stalking, and you lock that entity down. How do you do so? Martial law. No airport, no driving privileges. All right, you're talking about prosecution with regard to a whole entity, and this entity is then stalking me, following me into another city. Okay, that's the entity that's obsession. You understand that these are dead people, and the dead people that have been ran by demons, now those demons are embarrassing them because they're going to continue like robots. Even while the people who are being controlled by those demons are suffering consequences for it. They can't hide it anymore. That's POC. You're going to permanently land those that are flying these planes and helicopters. They're being permanently landed. They kill people and they want you to think it's an accident. It's not. It's the POC. What was an accident? What you shouldn't have done was target me, the one that's telling all your secrets. And not only that, I'm going to weaponize your secrets and have you locked down like you should be. This is the psychopath that's pacing. It's very sad. They belong in the institutions where they kidnap American citizens. And that's where they're going. This is psychopathic pacing. And this is what they were doing in the parking lot and molesting me with light. Psychopathic pacing because they're hostile. Everything I'm putting on the X feed. Psychopathic pacing. One demon after another touching me with light. And you're doing so while you want to talk in a derogatory manner about somebody that's quote unquote in the streets when it's your mother that's in the streets. Your mother's a streetwalker. Okay, that's what's wrong with you. And you're hostile because you're out here stalking me while your wife, your girlfriend, your gay lover, your daughter, whoever it is that wants to be me could never be me, and stalking and monitoring me is not going to get, it's going to get you locked up. POC, it is currently 8:51 a.m. where Robert J. Spitz Law Office. This is the entity, a body of evidence showing you gang stalking that's not any exception outside of those that have a California bar license. In fact, they are the way in which this system is operating in corrupt courts. That's why I'm being gang stalked outside of the walls and doors of a law office, and it's unreasonable to contend that you're not being targeted on the inside of that venue. And it's not based on the hours. It's the identification of public corruption. And it includes gang stalking attorneys. I've already prosecuted them. They engaged in kidnapping me, and they need to be prepared to lose their license and lose their freedom because you're going to prison. All right, that's the P.O.C. It is currently 8:52 a.m. where vagina monitors follow me obsessively. All right, they spend time and energy on stalking me. I'm everything to them. They don't even have family or anything concerning. They don't have a purpose of existence. I am their purpose. I'm the one that they're sitting around obsessing over. And that's the reality. And the entity is stalking me in helicopters because they're hostile. They are enraged that you know that as the truth. While they thought that lying on someone like myself was ever going to be successful, that's because they're demons. They don't know anything. They're demons. P.O.C.